I have a lot to get through in 10 minutes, so bear with me. We're going to try to get through as much as this is possible. Before I do, thank you, NFT.NYC, for having me this year. It is a huge honor to be here. I've got some friends out in the crowd out here who are here to support me, and most importantly, my father is here today to support me as well, too. He's in the back. This guy is, thank you. He supported me through the billion career changes that I've had, every venture and project that I got into, and it was really important that he was here today to see this. So thank you, Dad. My name is JD Gargano. If I have not met you, hello, nice to meet you. Today we're just going to talk about how to find and develop your NFT concept. So basically, like, what you're doing right now, is that what you're supposed to do or what you're meant to do? We're going to talk a little bit about how you can find what it is that you're meant to do. Anybody here from New York? We're going to have a couple audience participation things here, okay? So this is the first one. New York. You, couple people. Anybody from Long Island, specifically? No? Anybody know what these buildings are? Those of you in New York, do you guys know? St. Charles Hospital is at the end here. That's in Port Jeff, Long Island. We got Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is right up on 72nd on the east side, and that's Stony Brook University Hospital. Why are they here? Well, because up until a few years ago, I was there. I was working there. I was in healthcare for almost 20 years before I decided that that's not what I was supposed to be doing. I was always artistic. I was always drawing. I was always doing something. I wasn't always artistic, clearly, but this is what I thought New York looked like when I was like 8 years old. Statue of Liberty looks pretty cool. I don't know what's going on with the Empire State Building. That's Madison Square Garden, in case you couldn't tell. The only thing I knew about Madison Square Garden is my dad took me to hockey games, so that's supposed to be a hockey game in the middle. I don't know why, but that's what it is. Anyway, so I was always drawing, but this is just to show you that I always was creative and I liked to draw. I started drawing mazes, really complex mazes for my friends. There we go. And it started off small like this. And I would make these little packets of mazes that I would charge 25 cents or a pack of 6 for $1. That was my ice cream money. That was my McDonald's hamburger on Thursday. That's what got me through some of the good stuff that my parents didn't let me have. So I created these really cool little packets of mazes that my friends could solve. So this packet was from 1992. Okay, so that was a long time ago. 1993, Happy New Year's, everybody, woo! And I would have these fun little puzzles that lived inside of them. And then, since we're in New York, one of my best friends from my childhood, he found this in one of his art drawings, and he said, I know you're speaking there, add this in. So I added it in for him. But going back to this one real quick, I did a series of Simpsons, because back in the 90s, who wasn't watching The Simpsons? One of the drawings that I had done was Bart Simpson. This was Krusty that was in the packet. The Bart Simpson maze, one of my teachers saw and said, more people need to see this. So she submitted it to Highlight Magazine for kids. Does anybody remember Highlight Magazine? You'd go to a doctor's office and they'd be laying there. So she submitted it to it, and she said, more people need to see this. About a year, because this was snail mail, this was not email, she wrote a letter and sent it in. They wrote a letter back to me and sent it to my school. So you can see right at the top, 1992. I've been doing this project for over 30 years. Okay, we're gonna get into that in a second. So this letter, I got back from the editor, and he said, we really loved your work, but we don't want people writing in the magazine. I had no idea my teacher sent it, but she did. I was very grateful. This didn't discourage me. What this did was, it said, adults think that what I'm doing is cool. I don't know, in 92, I don't know how old I was, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, something like that. But it gave me validation on what I was doing was different and unique, and people liked it, okay? I found this letter in a box of stuff that my dad had in his attic that I got from him a couple years ago. After I left healthcare, I went into design, finally, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be a designer my whole life. I went into motion graphics. I went to the School of Visual Arts over here in New York City on 23rd. I taught at the School of Visual Arts for a couple of years. This letter kickstarted my NFT project because my friends told me, you gotta get into NFTs, you gotta do NFTs. I didn't wanna do everything else that's the same as everybody else. I had no value, at least I thought, in this space until I found this letter. When I saw this letter, I said, I know exactly what my NFT project is going to be. A guy lives in Italy, he's from Brooklyn, and he said, I want something that reminds me of Brooklyn, so I worked on this with him. This is still one of the largest mazes I've done. It's a 24 by 18 maze. Every maze that I do, from the day I started making mazes when I was a little kid in single digits, they're solvable. So there's a start and an end, okay? It took me a long time. This was about 20 plus hours. I draw them all by hand first, then I'll take a picture or I scan it and I redo it digitally so that I have the physical and the digital part of this. So you can, if you want, he's got that physical print and he has the digital print. Then for May 4th, because I'm a Star Wars fan, thanks Dad, I did a series called May's the 4th, and these were Luke's saber, I did Vader's saber, Han's blaster, Solo's blaster, Han Solo blaster, and Greedo blaster. And again, these are 18 by 24, so these are big pieces as well. And then to celebrate the band Phish playing at Madison Square Garden, I did a band poster for the 4 nights that they played there as well. What was unique about this was I realized not everybody's a Phish fan. So what I did was I made this version. You see 4 different versions here. I did the same exact version without the text on it. So if you liked the art, you can still display the art and not have to have that YMSG at the bottom because you don't know what that means. And then I did a collab with this podcast called The Alt Kings. And this actually, we're going to do another little audience participation at the end. We have 2 people who are going to win metal prints of these. So you guys are going to help pick the winners for those. So why am I talking about this? Well, we're going to talk about Ikigai. And Ikigai means the reason for being. And Iki is the word life, and Gai means value or worth. Typically, we see formatting that doesn't look that right. But when you see this, there's supposed to be 4 circles, and you find out what you love, what the community needs, what you're paid for, what you're good at. This is typically the Venn diagram that you see. However, that was westernized. Actually, this isn't what Ikigai is supposed to mean, but that's just what we know it as today. We're going to talk about that. Wow, this really got messed up, the formatting. But that's okay. We're going to get rid of what you get paid for, and we're going to focus on what you love to do and what the community needs. If you do what you love to do and what the community needs, that's your mission. If you do what you love and what you're good at, that's your passion. If you do what you love, what the community needs, and what you're good at, that's where you're going to find your NFT project. So what does that look like? Well, we're going to write down all of the things that you love, that you're good at, and your community needs. So we're going to talk about I love basketball, I love MMA, video games, movies, music, cats, hiking, coffee. Write down everything that you love to do. Then write down everything that you're good at. Animation, design, climbing, everything. Don't think about, oh, I'm a designer or not a designer. Just write down what you're good at. Then write down what your community needs. The people in your NFT community, whatever chain you're on, your friends, your family, write down things that they need, that you think that they're missing. So that could be friendly betting. Could be more expertise, one-on-one coaching. If you're a really good spokesperson, if you're a good personality, write that down, because maybe people who have a project don't necessarily have the voice for them. So you can help them by being their voice. So now this is where we're going to find your project. Using those, what you're good at, what your community needs, and what you love to do, use your coding and design skills to create a friendly betting site for MMA fights. Create your own social token for people who will hire you for lessons, to be their voice, right? So you could teach lessons, you could speak for them. If you're a sculptor, make something. Take a really nice picture of it. Digitize the photo. Now you have a really nice vase that somebody buys from you, and you have a really nice picture of it that's maybe hanging in the bathroom, and it ties together really nicely. Your guests come over and like, oh, here's the physical, and there's a really nice picture hanging in the bathroom. Make a series of videos on how to cook your favorite Italian restaurant recipe or something like that, right? Token gate it so that people have to pay your token to go see that. Make a PO-op. Say you love hiking. Make a PO-op. Take people on indoor trips. Then have people go on outdoor trips and redeem those PO-ops because they've been with you enough times. Work with your favorite streamer to capture moments that they have and tokenize those. Have their fans buy them. Or create a series of MMA cards with fighting cats and gamify it. But whatever you do, please no more derivative art. Find something new. If you go to this link, I'm giving everybody here a free NFT. If you go here, oh, the cameras come out. This will take you to a website, my website. You can fill out the form on there and hit submit, and I will reach out to you personally, and I will help you get your free NFT. Thank you. Before I go, not these people back here, because you guys are part of the community, and that would be cheating. Going back to the Cat King that you guys saw, I need 2 numbers. I need a number between 1 and 111. 57. 57, remember that. I'm not going to. And 112 to 222. Ooh, okay. So when I go back home, the person who's holding number 57 and number 222 are going to win the metal plates of those. So thank you guys very much. Does anybody have any questions? We're out of time.
No.
We are out of time. If you guys have any questions, I'll be right outside.